build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's Sunday night, and that means it's time for Talking Tools. And if you're new here, this is the inaugural edition of Talking Tools. And since we're live, I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit here. There we go. Sorry, guys. Anyway, all right. So for those of you who are just joining me for the first time, this is a brand new series that I'm running where every Sunday night we're going to get together as a community and we're going to be talking tools. We're going to share our thoughts. I'm going to share my thoughts on tool reviews. I'm going to review some of my old reviews. I'm going to go back 12 months and look at some of the tools that I talked about a year ago, which is kind of neat. Other things we're going to do, we're going to end up having a live stream collaboration with a few different creators, which will be really cool. We're going to do a Q&A session where people can bring their questions in and hopefully I can answer them for you. And we're just going to do a social media roundup. I see Joseph in here. How are you tonight? And I see Hirith. How are you as well? Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by, guys. All right, so I know what you guys came for. It's for Talking Tools. And this week, we are going to talk about this beast right here. This is the Dewalt 20-volt cordless string trimmer. And I bought this thing on a whim 12 months ago, almost 12 months ago. We'll go all the way back to July 2020. I bought it on a whim to do some landscaping work for my kids, and it ended up becoming part of my everyday carry kit for my landscaping business. So let's dive right into it. So real quick, if you guys are watching this on the recording, which that's where the majority of the audience comes from on the far end, take a minute, run by toolmantim.co, that's toolmantim.co to find out all there is to know about this old feller here. Check out my social media presences, and most importantly, if you're looking for a solution to a problem, something like, hey, I spilled paint on vinyl siding, what do I use to get it off? Or very specific, I have a really heavy Santa Claus painting that I need to hang above my head when I sit on my lazy boy. I can't drill anything into the wall. What do I use? So go by the Today's Tool section or toolmantim.shop to check that stuff out. All right, so for those of you who are wondering, I went back and watched my review from 12 months ago, and I gotta say, it was kind of painful. I think I've come a long way in the 12 months learning a little bit on the journey of being a YouTuber, which is kind of cool. But it was kind of funny because the very first thing I did was leave a blooper at the beginning. I did my intro, forgot to cut it out, and did my intro again. So whatever, anyway. And I guess tonight you'll see a little blooper at the beginning when I had to adjust the camera. But did I mention that I absolutely love this thing? When I first started with it, I thought, okay, this is going to be pretty good. And there were some kinks with it that I needed to work out. But over time, I've given it some work. I've made some changes. One little hack I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And it has made all the difference in the world. So originally, for those of you who are interested, this is the quick load head that came with it. And I want to show you something right there. That is where it wore right through. So what I really like about this, you feed the string through, you crank it down, and you're done. Everything else about it is absolute trash, which sucks. It's a hard plastic. When it bounces, it ends up wearing through really quick. And the absolute worst part of this design was the fact that it just constantly fed out twine. So anyway, I put it off on the side of the shelf for a little while, didn't use it a whole lot, and then I decided it was time to do some upgrades. So this is one of them. This is a Husqvarna T35. That's one I bought, but the one I ended up settling on, and you guys will see it right here, and this is what took this weed trimmer from a decent little piece of equipment to an absolute beast out in the field. And this is a Sthil 25.2 auto load head. Now, it doesn't have the quick load feature like this one, but I needed a heavy duty one because if you will notice on the back here, there you go, it's just a single threaded port on the inside. And that's what you need. That's the important part. So if you're looking to replace this head, that's what you need to end up doing. So not a big deal, but honestly, this thing has great battery life, which I loved. It has tons of power, which I loved. And the only thing that was bad about it was the shitty head that come with it. And if you can fix that, you're all set. All right, so now the next thing I was asked a few times about was right here. So this is the style shaft. There's literally no flex in it, no bend when you're using it. A little bit of side-to-side flex, but it was nothing. After a year, this thing is still just as sturdy, just as strong as the day that I got it. So I kind of like that too. Now, something else I wanted to show you, and I didn't have time to mention it in my last review. This thing right here has some serious pinch points with it. So you just got to be careful when you're, there we go, fluff that out. Now, if I didn't have a great big battery in there, that tucks in really nice and it snaps into place and it carries really well. And when I have my zero-turn mower, I actually strap a milk crate on the back, throw this thing in, put a ratchet strap over top of it, and it works. It's compact, portable. It folds down to about 40% the normal length of some of the other ones, or in its full size. And then it's just compact and easy for me to carry, which I like. So, a few complaints that some people had online, and I thought I would touch on them. A lot of people had some issues with these vents here, clogging up with grass. I really haven't. It's been really good for me. Now, one thing that you'll see online is a lot of people complained about the balance. And it is a little bit unbalanced. And I keep talking about thinking about needing to get a harness and use it. But when I use it, I just put the weight right here underneath my elbow and it helps keep it going. I had one guy who said it was absolutely so heavy he didn't want to use it. And that hasn't been the case with me. I find with a heavier battery, it tends to balance things out just a little bit. But for me, my biggest drawback when I first started was that constant feeding of the string. What ended up happening was, as I used it, the string would just feed. So I'd go out, I'd start cutting grass, and within 10 minutes, I'd be completely out of weed whipper twine. And that drove me absolutely crazy. So I had to find something a little bit better. Now, I don't know if I just got a dud or if that was something that a lot of people ended up dealing with, but I couldn't handle it. So I had to replace it. I went with the Sthil head, and it was absolutely great. Something else, when I went back and I listened to my reviews, and maybe it's because I've gotten used to the battery-powered stuff over time, but I said there was a slight delay in the trigger pull, and I don't notice that anymore. So either that was something that broke in over time, there it goes, or I've just been using the battery-powered stuff enough that I really don't notice it anymore. Something else in the original review, and something I've grown to love even more, is this high-low switch right here. So that's low, that's high right there. And honestly, for 95% of my use, I use the low setting. It gets me right up against vinyl siding, which I love. It allows me to go right along a house without puncturing the siding. I still go on an angle, but it gives me just that little extra insurance. And yeah, I mean, that's one thing I had a guy email me a while back about, where a customer accused him of putting holes in the vinyl siding. It wasn't his fault, but they accused him and he had to deal with it. So anything you can do to help with that is good. This thing right here, like I said, the low setting allows me to just go right along vinyl siding and it doesn't bother anything, which is great. So yeah, one thing I wanted to show you here. This is a 6 amp hour battery. I got a 9 amp hour here as well. And it's big enough to take I can't wait to get one of those 15 amp hour batteries and try it out. But it fits in. What's nice about this, you'll see right there, is the back end is open for it. Who's in here tonight? Hey, Chicken Hawk, how are you? Nice to see you. So this fits in, just showing here that the battery will actually fit in and it'll slide out the back end. So I can get one of those big beasts, the new 15 amps, and try it in here. On low, a 9 amp hour battery gives me a ton of time. I usually use the 6 amp hour flex volt battery, this guy right here, and I can usually do 10 or 11 residential lawns with it. Sorry I'm late. How is it? Hey Klondike, how are you? Nice to see you. So yes, this, like I said, I have moved this guy from a decent weed whipper into an incredible beast simply by adding that new head, which I'm sure you guys already heard me talk about. And I'm going to show you a little bit about the twine that I've run in this too. So it is made for 0.8 twine. Now it's going to be hard to see in the video, but this is what I've been using for the last year. This is the Echo. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's shaped. So it's almost like an octagon when you look on the end. Has some nice sharp edges on it, and it just cuts the grass like crazy. Now, I also use some of this sometimes, and it's not made for the .95, but I've run this stuff through here. You'll see. Now, one thing I found was on the low setting with the .95, and this is the Sthil stuff if you want to take a look. On the low setting, it doesn't seem to have quite enough oomph to auto feed the string. So if you're going to use the heavier string, go with the heavier or with the higher setting for the speed. But one thing I haven't gotten into yet, and I kind of want to check out, is how much does running the heavier head and the heavier string affect the life of the trimmer. I'm not sure yet. I think it's going to be okay. It may just be in my head, but I think maybe it sounds like it's laboring just a little bit with that new head and the new string in there. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, so what else do I like about this beast? Now, this was actually, believe it or not, the very first straight shaft trimmer I got. And the design of it, of course, if you've never had a straight shaft trimmer, helps you get under things better than the curve shaft. And I'm a big dude, and with the curve shaft, I'm always bent over and hunched over like this. And this lets me get in and kind of do a circle around trees and that sort of thing without having to bend over a whole lot. I wouldn't mind having this just a little bit longer, but beggars can't be choosers. That's why I like the new Dewalt cordless mower. Now, I want to show you something here. This is coming up. So this is the newer 60 volt flex volt and string trimmer as well, and it has these quick adjust shaft changers on it. And this weekend I'm going to the city and I'm going to pick up an edger and a couple other things, but I just wanted to show you guys side by side the difference. And this right here is a shaft just like a professional one. It's built like a tank. You guys will get to see a video on Wednesday of me unboxing it, but I just wanted to show you the comparison. There's the two different designs, and we'll do a video on this one down the road. So of all my cordless landscaping tools, this is the beast that goes through the battery the most. Just simply using it, I don't know, I'm sure it's to do with the head spinning all the time, but it does go through a lot of juice. I'm able to get a lot of lawns done in the time with the batteries I have, especially with the flex volt batteries. The 5, I haven't tested one of these guys a whole lot yet, but I'm going to give it a shot just to see. Now, something I haven't talked about a lot before, and maybe you guys know some of this anyway, but if you're thinking about getting a battery-powered, well, any kind of battery-powered lawn care equipment, the benefits that you might not think about are a whole bunch. And this is the main reason why I love this battery trimmer so much. But you got no fumes, which means I can work all day and I don't come home smelling like, I don't know, the bottom of an oil bucket, which drives me nuts. No noise, so when I'm using this, I can just use my AirPods and listen to my audiobooks, which I love. I don't have to wear them big work tunes, which I still like, but they get hot. No need to winterize. Now for you fellers, where it's warm all year round and the cold doesn't hurt your face, winterizing isn't as big a deal, although it might still be. But I literally don't have to spend any time prepping it, putting it away. I don't have to spend any time getting it out in the spring, warming it up, running seafoam through it, breathing in a whole bunch of gross fumes, all of that. That's what I like. Here's another one, and I know this one might be simple, but no spilling gas. The other day, my son and I were out mowing, and he had the mower with the gas mower, and of course, you're always spilling a little bit of gas. So I like that too. I don't have to haul gas with me. I don't have to mix gas with me. And something I didn't think about, my sister-in-law was using some of this gear the other day, and she's like, there's no learning curve to it. Nothing whatsoever. She just picked it up and started going. She's like, I could absolutely use this. I really, really like that. So, you know, I just thought there's a lot of benefits there that you don't always think about, and I thought I'd share some. So then, like I said, I went back through my review from a year ago to see if I still love this thing as much as I do, and well, I kind of do. So then I went through some of the comments that people left, and I thought, people are going to have some questions about it, so why don't I address those as well? So Fox Outdoors says they love it almost as much as their Stihl weed whipper, and on low they'll run 2 straight hours on an 8 amp hour battery. What do we got? Oh, I missed it, sorry. Oh, by the way, guys, I tried really hard to get an iPad running out here as well so I could see the comments coming up closer. Next week I will. And for those of you who are new, this is the start of the new studio. I'll have things working just a little bit better. Yeah, so they said they could 2 straight hours of weed whipping on an 8 amp hour battery, which I thought was cool. Just drinks batteries faster than his other Dewalt tools. Now, Tony Danza stopped in and said something here as well, which I thought was kind of cool. He says when he tries to edge with the string, it either breaks or goes back inside the head. And I think that has a lot to do with this design. It just seems to be centrifugal fed, or maybe not centrifugal, but just it auto feeds. And I think, or gravity feed, that's the other one I'm looking for. So it kind of falls back in, it breaks, that kind of stuff. Brad Jenkins says it's a nice trimmer, but very unbalanced. And like I said, there is a bit of unbalance to this. It is a little bit heavy. Let's see if we can put it, yeah, see? It's a little bit top heavy up here. But I find if you hold it out where the handle is, you can adjust that a little bit. But if you do, and as you're holding it, I just use this kind of as a fulcrum to keep it into place. And I keep swearing I'm gonna get myself a harness, but I haven't done it yet, so that's okay. Crazy Gravy, I love these YouTube names, says, when you say it's a little unbalanced, what you mean is heavy as heck. I really like what it can do, but I'm trying to work around the balance issue. And I gotta say, when I first started, my arms hurt. It was really heavy, really, really awkward. But as time went on, like any gear, your body gets used to it. You start building muscle memory. You start getting into the groove of using it. And it becomes comfortable, it becomes second nature. So when you first start out, it may be a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. Explore with the handle in different spots just so you can get a feel for how well it'll balance for you. But to me, it honestly hasn't been that big of an issue. The battery life, the power, the ease of use, all balances that out. So for me, this beast has been more than worth my investment. It's cheap too, like, of course in Canada, it's the price is a little different, but it's only $100 and some as a bare tool. And another thing to keep an eye out on, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my last review back a year ago, but Dewalt is still unloading some of their old stock. So when you're looking for one, look for one with the squarish shaft and with this really robust clamp system. That's what you're looking for. If you buy the cheap one, everybody said there is just an absolute ton of issues with with there actually becoming a bend in the shaft. And this thing right here, I'll show you, look. I can come right onto that, and there's a little bit of flex, but there's no bend and no break. So when they redesigned it, it was good. And I can't wait to dig into the 60 volt beast either, because, well, yeah, you know. So I think that is just about everything that I had to tell you about. Yeah, I went over whole bunch of things anyway. But I just wanted to, part of this series is going to be going back through and reviewing my old reviews, which I like. Once a month, I'm gonna pick the biggest trending review video I did of that month a year ago. And I'm gonna revisit the tool, and we're gonna see how much I really love it, like this, or how much I maybe don't love it quite as much. I'm talking to you, 60 volt Dewalt chainsaw, who needs to go back for warranty work before the year runs out. But that's gonna be part of it. So I'm gonna go back, gonna try something a little crazy and do these 1 year, once a month, live tool reviews. And then we're going to do some collaborations. Joseph, I know you're here, and I'm talking to you as soon as you get your Wi-Fi up and running out in your shop. And I got to do something about this too, because it's not great in here. Going to do a Q&A roundup once a month on Sunday nights. You guys can submit questions ahead of time on the website and or through social media. I'll do a social media roundup once a month as well, where I bring in everything that people have asked me, you know, that kind of stuff, any new kind of products and that sort of thing. And if you guys are into it, because this is called Talking Tools, and I kind of dig talking about tools, I am thinking about doing a monthly roundup of all the tool news, where we can talk about some of the new, just the new releases the big companies have put out and that sort of stuff. So anyway, I don't know if anybody out there has used any of these, or if any of you guys are using any of the Dewalt cordless landscaping tools, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about them as well. And it is awfully warm in my shop tonight, so sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so if any of you guys have, great. Let me know what you think of the start of the new studio. We're going to have my new logo right here, website right here, and I'm going to have this camera framed just a little bit better for everybody too. But I got a new light as well, and we're going to work through all this. And thanks for being patient with me, guys. We're going to build this into some great stuff. Chicken Hawk, I knew you'd say you love your 20-volt string trimmer, and I've been eyeing up that framing nailer you did a review on, and I might be going to pick one of them up too, although I might get a roofing nailer for doing siding first. But yeah, so, and another thing, if you guys have some time and you want to flip back through my old Tool Time reviews, and you want to take a look, and you want to see, hey, I'd like to see Tim do a review of that review, let me know, because, you know, this is what this is for. We're going to create some community here. We're going to interact, and I'm going to share my thoughts on some tools that I've spent a lot of money on and I enjoy playing with. So anyway, guys, I don't know if anybody else is out there had any questions about any of this, any of my gear, my setup, that sort of thing, throw them at me. And if you don't, you know, I'll be in the comments answering all the questions. And give me some feedback too. I thought we would do this, the live stream thing, just to get a feel for how things are working. I wanted to work out some of the kinks with the new background to see how it looks, see if we need any more lighting, see if the sound's working good, all of that. So give me some feedback on that too, guys. And I think that is everything for this evening. I got no more questions coming through. So guys, as you know, I always appreciate you dropping by. What we got there, Chicken Hawk? We need to make a Dewalt tool review playlist. Yes, we can. I would love to do that. That would be awesome. We could put everybody in on it. Milla, Joseph, try to remember to call internet tomorrow. Ted, you're late. That's okay. Better late than never. You know, my dad always said, 10 minutes early is on time and on time is late, but I'll forgive you, Ted. I always like seeing you come in here. But yes, we should put together a joint Dewalt playlist. I would love that. Half it would be my stuff because it seems like that's all I ever talk about is Dewalt gear. But Joseph, I know you've done some. I know you like the Dewalt inflation station. I don't know if anybody else has seen that or tried that guy out, but it is a beast of a tool. That's going to be one of my today's tools this week too on social media, so keep an eye out because it's been a while since I did the review on it and I thought I'd share it with you guys. But yeah, I wouldn't mind putting together a whole Dewalt playlist. That would be a lot of fun. We can kind of community source it, and Chicken Hawk, don't let me forget about that because that would be a lot of fun. That'd be a real fun project to do. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for me for this week. It is stifling hot out here. I'm going to end up having to put an air conditioner in. Got my DCST922 today. My husband buys too much Dewalt stuff. Yes. If you guys don't know that name there, that might be my daughter undercover being funny, which I think would be awesome. Chicken Hawk, give me a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. And pretty soon I'll have a better screen going on here so I don't have to keep zooming in and doing the old man thing where I tilt my glasses up to make sure I can read your comments. And they come and go so quick. But I had my daughter's iPad out here and it just wouldn't connect good enough. So we'll make it work. Anyway, guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.